And welcome to my channel. Today is Monday, November 6th. Today is parent-teacher conference at my school today. If you're new here, my name is Diana and I am a 11th year 5th grade teacher. And if you're a recurring visitor, welcome back. So today we are doing parent-teacher conference. So I don't know how it's set up in everyone else's district, but in our district, so I believe, if I'm not mistaken, based on our contract, we get a week off of Thanksgiving break. Now, normally, the old district that I used to be at, we would only get Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So this one, we get Monday through Friday off, paid. But I think because of that, we actually have to do parent-teacher conferences, and we don't get the day off. It's not like a sick day. It's not like a half day. So what we do is we teach a full day, and then in the evening, so from like 4:30 to 7:30, I believe, 7:30, we have to stay and we do a parent-teacher conference. And then Wednesday, we do the same thing all over again. And then the following week, we do Tuesday, Thursday. So I think it's just like a way of spreading the love. And it makes up for those 2 days that I believe we get off, 2-3 days that we get off for that week. So it's going to be a long day today. I have my caffeine. It is cold brew, stock cold brew, the sweetened version. I love, love, love it. It's my favorite cold brew because I don't have to add any more added sugar or any added sweetener. It's already pre-sweetened, and then I just add a little bit of French vanilla cream, and it's pretty good. So I love it. But I put it in here just because, so it won't spill. I'm very messy and sloppy sometimes, and so I just don't want it to spill, and so I just usually keep it in this one. Plus it keeps it colder, I think, and there's no condensation, which is nice. Even though I know you guys have seen it all over the internet with the Java sock or whatever, but I don't know, I just haven't hopped on the bandwagon. But sometimes I do have it, and then it's like, because I love some of those like Starbucks cups that are so pretty that I do want to do the Java sock, because I love those little but a lot of those pretty ones don't have like condensation. But anywho, so yeah, so that's gonna be our day today. We're gonna start, well, we already kind of started our unit on the 13 colonies. Well, not necessarily our unit. So our unit is gonna be westward expansion. But I thought, so me and a bunch of other 5th grade teachers, or the other 5th grade team that I have, we try to keep in sync with what we're doing because we're all sharing the same unit. And so I don't think any of them are really, sorry, I just turning. I really don't think any of them are like on westward expansion yet, or starting it, or maybe gonna start it this week. I'm not sure, but I thought it would be a lot better to do where we could do like a pre to that. And I think the 13 colonies is pretty good. Some of my kids said they already know a little bit about it, or they've heard about it from prior years, which is great because they do have some background knowledge. But I think what we're going to do is we're going to kind of just study a little bit about those colonies, because I feel like it's really important for them to understand how everyone got here to wanting to expand the land and go further, considering the fact that when we started on this little piece of the United States, and then we decided to expand westward. And so I think it is kind of important, and I think Jamestown's kind of important, and I think Roanoke is kind of important. And so I don't know, I just think that all these things, you know, I feel like we should start from the beginning and kind of just go from there. So they're gonna do those. So I don't think it should take us more than a couple of weeks to do. And then, you know, westward expansion is really long in itself. So I know that it's gonna take a minute anyway to do. So even if I'm like behind a couple of weeks of everybody else, it should be okay. It's not gonna be an issue. So I think that would be ideal and fun to do. So that's what we're gonna do today. So yeah, so we've already kind of talked a little bit about it, but today we're actually going to break it down a little bit further as far as like why they moved, not just for religious reasons, but like what it was like. And so I think what I'm gonna do is, so there's this teacher called the Clever Teacher online. And so what I did was I had originally gotten her units from Westward Expansion already, and I loved her units. They were very interactive. They're a constantly moving part, and to be honest, a lot of my kids last year when we did this unit, one of my kids said that like that was like his favorite thing was like the Westward Expansion and just doing history, because you know it was like really interactive. So so she also has something from the 13 colonies, and so I bought that as well, and so I'm utilizing both of those. And then one of these other teachers that I follow on Instagram, Freckleton Fifth, she is doing the American Revolution, and so she was telling me that she also gets stuff from her as well. But she did something, I don't know if this was part of the Clever Teachers unit or if it was something that Freckleton Fifth decided to do on her own, but she assigned them like a person or like whatever, like for the whole unit, like this is your person or whatever, your persona. And so I thought that'd be really fun to do. So I'm gonna assign them. So they're gonna be I'm gonna have 3 groups of 7, where they're going to either be from the New England colony, the Southern colonies, or the Middle colonies. And so I think it'll be nice, because then I think what I'll have them do maybe at the end is they can do a presentation about their colony to kind of just show like what they've learned. And then, you know, obviously everyone will share it, so that way everyone will show like what they learned from each of those colonies. So I think it'll be really fun. At least I'm hoping that's the plan, but you know, plans always change. So yeah, so I'm headed to school now. I should probably be there in about 10 minutes. And then I'm gonna just print off some stuff and then get my day started. I'll check in with you guys probably around, not lunch, but prep or specials during my PLC. Yeah, today our PLC is just me and my colleague. So like my one colleague, not like the whole 5th grade team. So so it'll be nice or whatever. So all right, so yeah, so I'll check in with you guys later. I hope you guys are having a great day so far, and if you're not, just try to make it a great day, because that's all we can do. See you in a minute. So it is lunchtime. Yeah, I totally wasn't able to do anything for our prep period. Or I'm sorry, not prep period, our planning time. I had to meet with my other teacher. Oh, look at my hair, it's so crazy today. And we kind of just went over, we have parent-teacher conference today, one of the 4 days. So we have it from, I think, 4:30 till 7:30 tonight. And then on Wednesday, same. And then next week, Tuesday, Thursday, same times. So, yeah, so we were just kind of going over what, like the parents that are coming this evening, and what like just basically paperwork that we're filling out to kind of share with the parents about their kids. And that's pretty much it. So, this morning, so we did go over the 13 colonies. We kind of did a PowerPoint. I had the kids take notes. And so basically we kind of did like a KL chart, as opposed to KWL. So we just did one side where I just asked them about 8 questions, and then they were to just say what they knew or what they didn't know, or what they knew about it. Some of them just wrote, I don't know, which was fine, because there was a lot of like higher vocabulary words like colonization and indigenous, and so a lot of them didn't really know those words, so a lot of them didn't understand it. But then when we went through the PowerPoint, I just made sure to let them know, like, hey, this is what, the answer to this question, the answer to this question. And so at the end, we just kind of wrote a reflection as to what we learned, any questions that they still may have had, and then just kind of like their ideas and feelings around what they had learned, especially since we had talked a lot about what were some of the, basically the bad things that happened to some of the indigenous people, because of colonization. And so we kind of talked a lot about how they lost their land, and they lost resources, and then people were trying to have them change their culture and traditions and religion, and just how many people lost their lives and things like that. And so so we kind of talked about that. So I was hoping to see if I could get some feedback as to how they felt about that, or any ideas that kind of came to their head. And then we did the 3 things where I had them pick their group and where they were going to be in for New England, Middle, and Southern Colonies. And then so 4 of my people are not here today. Well, 3 were absent, and 1 left early or left and will be coming back. So so when they come back, I'll have them pick, because those are my last people. One of my colonies is already full, and the other 2 kind of need 2 people each. So they'll probably end up in one of those groups. So we'll see how that goes. But overall, yeah, it's been a pretty good day. It was pretty quick. I just hope that we're able to kind of get through that in my next class, because if you've been following me, you know that my second class is very just go, go, go. By the time we get here at about 12:45, and then, we have that little bit of time before intervention starts, and then we have, and then after that, we'll have that little bit of time from intervention for about, 30-ish minutes, and then we have our prep, and then that last half hour at the end of the day. So I'm hoping to get those in. I know my first class were a little upset because they didn't get to do deer time, which was just basically silent read. They like to read in my class, and so they were kind of upset. So I told them, well, we'll get more deer time tomorrow. So I'll have to make good on that promise tomorrow and have them get some extra time to read tomorrow, which isn't a bad thing. I mean, I worked at schools where there was a lot of kids that you couldn't get them to read for anything, and they didn't want to read anything, and they didn't care. And these kids at least are wanting to read, they're excited to read, and they enjoy reading the stories that they read. So so I'm happy about that. So I'll definitely make sure to input that time for them tomorrow. But yeah, so for lunch today, I had my Panera broccoli cheddar soup. I brought a salad that I'm probably gonna save till later, during parent-teacher conferences, even though I think today we get lunch. The PTA provides lunch for us because they're so nice. So I think they're providing lunch for us today, which is nice. But I brought that just in case. So if I end up eating the lunch that they provide, or dinner, I guess, I can just save that salad for tomorrow for lunch. So I have that, and then I have this energy drink. I don't know if any of you guys have ever had it. It's Yerba, I think. And I'm not a big fan of tea, but I realized in the ingredients that it does have tea. Well, I mean, I don't like tea. I want to say I'm not a big fan. I don't like tea. But so I got this for somebody booed me. So for Halloween, they do a boo basket. And so a lot of us were kind of going around. And so they put this in the basket along with candy and things like that. So I've had it for a couple of weeks now at home, and I was like, you know what, I'm going to try it. And it's not too bad. It's supposed to give energy, so we'll see how that goes. Black cherry pineapple. It's not too bad. It doesn't really taste like tea, so it's not so bad. I probably would drink this and it would be okay. One of the other drinks, I don't know if you guys ever had it at Starbucks, is the passion fruit tea lemonade, or is it passion fruit? I don't know, but it's the passion tea lemonade. And so it's every time I order it, I'm like, more lemonade, less tea. And that's probably the only thing that has tea in it that I'll drink, because I'm just not a big tea drinker. And a lot of people, obviously when you're sick, they're like, drink tea. And I'm just like, I don't like it. So, but I think I found out later that correct me if I'm wrong, but like they say that you should be drinking like colder things for sore throats anyway. But I know that like warm substance for the body when you're sick is good. Like that's why people do like bone broth and things like that. So, but anywho, that's it. So I am going to finish this. I got about 15 minutes before I gotta go pick up the kids, and then get prepared for my next class that's coming in. And so yeah, I'll check in with you guys either if not prep at the end of the day before we have parent conference. Our parent conferences start at like either 4 or 4:30, and we get out at 3:30, so I'll have time to kind of chat a little beforehand, kind of tell you how my second class went. So again, hope you guys are having a fabulous day, and I will catch you guys in a little bit. Good evening. I am in my car. It is 7:52. Well, I guess it's more like 7:47. However, it's still pretty late. So conferences were, it's about 7:30, but we ran over because we were doing really well in terms of getting on time, and we at one point got a little early because we were bringing in parents like intertimes, and so, but then at the end we got a little bit backtracked, and so we ended up staying a little later. However, it is done. First day is done. So you know, we still have Wednesday this week, we still have Tuesday, Thursday next week, and so it's just yeah, it's just a very long, tedious process, considering the fact that we just have like long hours, you know, being here since like me 8 o'clock to leaving now 12 hours later. So so yeah, let me know in the comments like how your district does it or your schools do it, and how you guys kind of set up conferences or how it works for you guys. But yeah, so it was just a really long day. So I'm gonna head home now and pick up my 2 kids. My sister picked up my son from school because my boyfriend is like sick. I don't know what's going on with him, and so he dropped him off this morning, but I just felt really bad because I'm like, you're gonna be at home all day with him, and I know it's not gonna go the best. So I just had my sister pick him up from school. She dropped him off at my mom's. I mean, he's not it's not going the best for my mom either, because she still calls me during conferences like in the middle of my break to tell me that like, you know, my son was acting up. So, but the difference is that she's a little bit more patient. She can handle him a little bit better, and he's not going to drive her crazy to the fact that she's going to like go nuts. So, so I'm hoping that he's okay now. So, my ideal situation would be they get in my car and it was a long day for them and they fall asleep, and then I get home and I can just relax a little bit before I go to bed to do it all over again, because it's already 8 o'clock. By the time I get home, it's going to be closer to 9, and then I don't know, it's just going to be like I got no time to myself, and that was just the end of it. So, but anywho, so yeah, I will I don't know, I don't know if I'm going to end the vlog here, just to kind of go with today. But if I do end up, you know, continuing on, maybe I'll jump in on Wednesday, our next parent-teacher conference day. So I think I might do that. But yeah, hopefully you guys had a great day, and I guess I will hit you guys up on Wednesday and let you guys know how the parent-teacher conferences went for that day. All right, have a good evening. I'll see you guys in a little bit. morning. Today it is Wednesday, November 8th. And today we are having our second parent-teacher conference of the week. So we had one Monday, and then we're having one today as well. So we'll be in school to about 7:30. And so I'm on my way to school right now. Yeah, so last time it wasn't too bad. Don't mind the towel. My hair is wet, and I don't know about you, but I'm very I don't like the wet hair on my clothes because it'll just damp my shirt, and then I'll just feel it, and it's just gross. And so I usually just put a towel, and I know I should dry it in the morning, diffuse it, but I just don't have time, and it just makes a lot of noise, and I don't want to wake up my kids, or at least my son. So I just try to use it on as much as possible until I get into my classroom. So hopefully, it'll air dry enough so it's not bothering me by the time I get to school. But anywho, so Monday, this past week, it wasn't too crazy. It was a long day. I never told you in either my last video or on Monday that my boyfriend was kind of sick, and so it's I don't know if he started to trickle it a little bit to me, so it's kind of latched onto me, but not in full force. So I've just been very proactive. I've been taking medicine, and then I think in the evening yesterday I took an naproxen. So it's just, like I said, just really pain here, headache. So right now I can feel that I'm just a little nasally, and then my body was just really weak. And it's any of you teacher moms know, just it's just so exhausting. So I was okay for the most part yesterday, and then around 3 o'clock it just hit me, and I was just sluggish again, which was interesting because I took my medicine probably at 7. So I'm from 7 to 3, I'm I don't know, that medicine lasts pretty long, because I didn't start feeling anything till then. So I had to go pick up my daughter, and then my mom asked me if I could take her to the grocery store really fast. So I had a little mini nap in the car while my daughter was just playing a video game on my phone. And so I took medicine yesterday, and like I said, it's just so hard to perform, be mom when you're not feeling well. And so and the kids don't understand. My kids are 5 and 6, and they just don't understand that mom's sick and that she can't play with us, or she's not able to do something. And so they had been begging me for the past couple of days to do slime with them. So we did. My daughter got this slime kit for her birthday, and so there's I don't know, 8 or 9 different slimes you can do. So we did one the day before, and then we did one yesterday. So I told him, I was we can do another one tomorrow, but my son is very overzealous, and he's I want to do all of them, and I'm no. So, but anywho, so I'm on my way to school now. So yesterday we did a Jamestown gallery walk. So we've been studying the 13 colonies, and so yesterday we kind of just started talking about the official, unofficial first colony. And so we talked about Jamestown, and so I had different pictures up around the room, and I had them kind of just go around and read the information, and kind of just write down some things that were interesting for them, some things that surprised them, some things that they didn't understand, questions they may have had still about it. And so some of them did really well with talking about it and discussing it, and they were really into it, which was my goal was for them to be really into it, and to be just talking about it. And so there was one part where they kind of talked a little bit about cannibalism. And so some of my kiddos were just oh my goodness, I can't believe it. And then at first it was amazing because they didn't even realize that it wasn't even the Native Americans, it was the people of Jamestown. And so they were just oh my God, what? And so so it was that, and then just certain rules that they had in terms of crimes and then punishment. So they were just really intrigued by it. So today we're going to be talking about the Southern Colonies. And so I think I'm going to do the jigsaw method, where I'm going to have each of them kind of tackle a paragraph, because it is a really lengthy it's not necessarily it's really lengthy, but I do have a lot of ELs, and like half of my class are EL students, and you know, it's very wordy, and if you don't understand or if you've never seen any of the dialogue or text or whatever, it tends to get a little out of your element. So I'm gonna have the kids do like a jigsaw where each of them are gonna be responsible for a paragraph, and then they're gonna kind of regroup, and then they're going to you know, kind of explain what they read in their paragraph and kind of bring it back to their group. And so I'm hoping that will help, and then they can all answer the questions together. That's what I really love about the Clever Teacher, like this units that she does. She does a lot of like group work and interactive work of like, you know, walking around, working together, and kind of keeping them up on their feet. And so I think that kind of helps with the intrinsic motivation, where they're like wanting to like learn more about it because it intrigues them, and they get to, you know, work with other people. So yeah, so that's what we're gonna do today, or at least try to get through today. So we'll see how that goes, because we've never done the jigsaw method in my room this year, and so because we haven't done it, that's like one lesson in itself where I have to try to explain how it's going to work before we can even start it. So but I'm confident that we'll do a good job, so I'm not too crazy, I'm not too worried about it too much. But that's it. And then like I said, that's going to be our day for the most part. So yesterday we had, as you saw, our Veterans Day assembly. So that was, you know, it was nice that the kids were, you know, really into it. They, you know, they sang some songs, and they kind of just talked about ways to honoring veterans and things like that. So that was really nice. It was a nice little like break or whatever, but you know, it's my afternoon class, so they cut into, you know, some of my time. But we got through the gallery walk, so that was nice. And that was pretty much what my motivation was for yesterday. So I will check in with you guys probably during my planning time or right before my planning time, to kind of see where we were and how it went, and if my jigsaw, you know, method fell to pieces or not, pun intended. But yeah. So I'll see you guys in a little bit. It is lunchtime. Yeah, sorry I didn't connect with you guys on my PLC. I had to meet with my co-teacher. So since we have parent-teacher conferences today, we were kind of going over just like the little note cards that or like the little like papers that we pass out to the parents, kind of giving some like positive behaviors and areas improvement, kind of like their reading levels and just like where they are academically. And so we were kind of just filling in some comments for some kiddos. So I was kind of doing that with her during our plan time. So right now I'm just on lunch. I am eating spaghetti that we made last night. Well, that my boyfriend made last night. And then nice, they actually had some leftover Portillo's cake from the day before our conferences. So I just got some of that. I mean, probably don't need it, but the sugar rush would be nice, and you know, us being here all night, it's like so yeah. So what we did today was we did so I was telling you guys earlier the history of the Southern Colonies, and so we did about 5 paragraphs. One was about Roanoke, the Virginia Company in Jamestown, and then one was about Maryland, the Carolinas, and how they split, and then Georgia. And so we did the jigsaw puzzle method, and it worked really, really well. So again, for those of you guys that don't know what the jigsaw puzzle or jigsaw method is. And so what we did was I put them all in groups originally, like their task group. And so, and then within those groups, I each gave them a number. So like if I had 4 people in a group, I gave them 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then when we were ready to do the expert group, I said, hey, if you were one, well, I also had them label, since there was 5 paragraphs, I ended up having to have one group do paragraph 2 and 5, but that was my higher group. So like I gave like one, so this was paragraph 1, this whole thing was paragraph 2, and then this was paragraph like 3, 4, and 5, and I know not paragraphs per se, but more like the chunks of it. And so I had my higher group do paragraph 2, or that longer piece, and then this paragraph here. And so then I had the other ones kind of spread out. And so, yeah, so after that, then I made the groups into, you know, I gave them each their numbers. I was like, year 2 and 5, year 1, year 3. And so once I did that, then I had them kind of come together. So they worked together well in their group. They got all the answers. And then when they went back, they did work really well in helping the other kids kind of get the answers. And I really like it because I think that it helps. I told them, I said, it gives them autonomy. It gives them like, you know, accountability. And it gives them like, you know, for those kids that are really struggling, I feel like there's no shame for it, because even if they kind of come back, they might at least have their little bit of information, but they don't need to read this entire passage, especially a lot of my kids that are EL that are struggling with reading. They don't have to read the entire passage. They can read a snippet of it, and then their peers are going to be able to explain to them what some of the other things are. And then as I walked around and I monitored, I saw a lot of them actually, like, you know, giving them the answers. And so like I feel like it kind of helped them, because they kind of felt like they weren't left behind. And so that was a plus. And then one of my students in here, he's a non-native speaker, like he doesn't really speak much English. So what I just did was I translated the paragraph that I had him work on. So like he at least knew what was going on. And then one of his peers like helped him write everything that he was, that he needed to write for his group. So yeah, so each group, when they all went back together, each group had like their own, you know, each paragraph had like, so they had their 3 facts that they gave to their other peers, and then they kind of all answered the questions together, and then we went over them together as a group. So just in case, to kind of reinforce. So it was really good. It was really positive. I told them it's a method of working smarter, not harder. So they seem to enjoy it. So I'll let you guys know how it goes with my second group, to see how they do. I feel like my second group struggles a little bit more with, you know, like direction, and like they need like explicit direction. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, so right now I'm just gonna eat my lunch, and then probably just get ready for my next group that'll be coming in about 35-40 minutes. And so yeah, I'll check in with you guys during my prep period to kind of see how that went. If I don't check in with you in my prep period, I'll check in with you guys at the end of the day. We do have a meeting before our parent-teacher conferences, so hopefully I'll get a chance to check in with you guys then. But I hope you guys are having a great day. See you guys in a little bit. So it is 9:41. Sorry, I did not record. We literally had like back to back parents, and I think I only had like a mini break, and then we had to we just had a mini break, and so I had lunch, and then we met all the rest of our parents, and then that was it, and that was the end of our day. So it was just really like so tiring. It was just like, but I mean, we saw a lot of our parents. Like I think we're only missing, I want to say we're only missing like a few, like maybe a handful out of like 42 kids that we have. So I think for the most part, we're doing pretty good. So we're done with parent-teacher conferences for this week. Next week, we have Tuesday and Thursday conferences. And so that is going to be like another long 2 days. But overall, like I said, it was pretty good. It wasn't too crazy. We got to speak to a lot of the parents, give them like information about what's going on. And it's just so different for me because, I taught in the city, in the inner city for about 10 years. And it was just like, you got barely half your parents that would come in. And it was always just really disheartening for me because I would be like, I can't believe that, like, you wouldn't want to come meet your teacher, like your kid's teacher. Like, this person spends like 6-7 hours a day with your kid every single day, and you wouldn't want to get to know who they are, learn about them, learn how your kid is in the environment that they're in, like if they're thriving, one of the things that was really, I guess now that I'm a parent and my son is in school, one of the things I just found really interesting was that, like, he's like a totally different person at school. Like here, he's like, he's a good kid overall, but like, he fights with his sister. He doesn't share, he's like, he gets like really easily mad at her and like will yell and like fight with her and stuff. But then, like, I go to school and the teacher's telling me that he's like a class leader, that he gets along with everyone. He's super sweet, super nice. He follows the rules and the expectations. And I'm just like, who is this kid? Like, it's not my kid. Because when he's at home, it's like following the rules. What? I have to tell him something like 2, 3, 4, 5 times before it's like it even gets to that point. So it's just interesting that, like, so it is nice to be able to talk to the teachers and like just get a different insight about your kid, and then not only that, but just find out like how they're doing, like, how they're doing, like social, emotional, what they need to work on. And, like, we asked my son's teacher, like, what we need to work on with him. And like, they said that he was doing really good. The only thing they said that we could start trying to work on was to write his name, because like he would write his names in all caps. And so they're like, we want to start getting him to write like lowercase. So he's been doing that, like I noticed, and I think like my boyfriend worked with him a little bit, but now like when I get his papers home, he's starting to write lowercase. He's starting to write other like sentences in lowercase letters. So I don't know. I just always thought that it was just mind-boggling to me that like people wouldn't come and see their teacher's parent, or wouldn't see their kids' teachers. But this is a little bit different. So like I said, it's just a little different, to get everyone and like hear their concerns and their thoughts, and it was good. So but yeah, so I think I'm gonna call it a night. I don't know, I'll see if I vlog tomorrow. If I don't vlog tomorrow, maybe I'll do it Friday to kind of just kind of sign off or whatever. We'll see how it goes. I'll see how I'm feeling. If I don't end up vlogging, I will catch you guys on the next video. If I do, then I'll catch you on the next day. So funny thing, I have one earring on. I didn't lose the other one, but for some odd reason it was open and I kept trying to fix it on my ear, but it wouldn't clip. But then when I would take it out and then I'd clip it, it was clipping. So really weird, but I put it in my pocket and it's like upstairs now. I just didn't take the second one off, but I'm gonna have to take it off and then eventually fix it, because I like them. They're really cute. They're very like really like small hoops, and they have like some little like diamonds on them. I got them from Pandora, and so I don't know, they seem, they're really cute or whatever, really like, simple, but I don't know what's going on with this one, but whatever. But anywho, but yeah, so again, if I don't see you guys again in this video, please hit the like and subscribe button at the bottom. Hit the notifications so you'll get the notifications when my next video comes out. If I decide to do it tomorrow or Friday, you'll see my wonderful face again. But I'm going to just end this video today here because I'm tired. I have a headache. My cold is still lingering, and it's been a really long day. So hope you guys have a great night, and I'll talk to you hopefully soon. Good morning. Today it is Thursday, November 9th. And I know I spoke to you guys yesterday. I was debating on whether I was going to continue my vlog or if I was just going to cut it off after Wednesday. But although I woke up this morning tired and literally was contemplating just not coming into work, just because I had such a long night, not just like with my things going on at work, but then I come home and it's like to come home to more children. So so that was a little bit extra. So I didn't go to bed till late. And then so yeah, I was just kind of feeling a little bit like staying home, but I was like, whatever, I'm just gonna get up and do it. And so I don't know, I'm feeling a little bit better, that I'm on my way to school. For any of you that are in the profession know, this is like at least that I'm aware of, the only profession where it's like so much more hard work to take off than it is to actually go into jobs. So yeah, so it's just like, I could have, sent lesson plans and all that stuff, but I was just like, you know what, just go in. We have 2 more days, and then we have another week, I think next week. Yeah, so next week's our last week, and then we have our Thanksgiving break. And so like I said, we have a whole week off. I know in my other district we used to have 3 days off, so we would have like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then I think at one point they kind of gave us Tuesday, but then it was like certain days were paid, certain days weren't. So as far as I know in this district, they do, we get fully paid all week. I mean, and that's what's interesting. It's like, if you're on salary, it should just be automatic. So I was kind of like surprised with my other district. But like I said, in our contract, I think it's like, that's why we work those long days for the parent-teacher conference. So that way we can, I guess, utilize that for the time that we put into our Thanksgiving break, which is fine because technically with the weekend I'll have 10 days off, which is, so I look at it like it's like a little fall break. So yeah, so that's pretty cool. And then this weekend, our goal is to kind of like organize our kids' playroom. They have a playroom in our house, and it's like so not utilized. Sorry, the sun is just crazy. So it's so not utilized, and like, I love my kids, and I'm grateful that they have all these things, but they just have so much stuff. And the thing is that since they were babies, they were so used to like playing, all their toys were like in our living room. We didn't have space. They didn't have really a room. So, so they were so used to playing like toys and everything in our living room. So now it's like, they're always in the living room. If they grab toys, they grab them and bring them downstairs. And so I'm just like, we just need to kind of downsize. Plus, my son's birthday party is coming up next weekend. And then, he'll get more toys and gifts and whatnot. And then Christmas is coming up. So it's just like, kind of just need to spring clean in the fall. So I think my sister's going to take them for the weekend, which is great, because then not only do I do that, but I just get to relax and rest. So that'll be a nice little cute weekend. So yeah, so today I am we're still working on the Southern Colonies at work or in school. And today we're kind of just talking a little bit more about what we are learning in the Southern Colonies, in terms of like, just like slavery, women's rights or lack thereof, just like all the situation, that goes on in the Southern Colonies now that they've established some kind of residency in the Americas. And then, so we're just gonna do like a little scavenger hunt. I always say scavenger hunt, but it's not, because it's like, I don't hide the cards. It's just they're around the room. So it's kind of similar to the gallery walk. And so they're just going to probably work with a partner. But I think what I'm going to do first is, it does have prompting questions that they have to answer. So it's not like the other one where they're just kind of talking about their opinion and what they're interested in. It's more so like answering questions to like little task cards. So I think we're going to go over the questions, to study the questions, to make sure that we understand what we're being asked before we dive in and read this little like task card. And then for grammar, we're going to probably do some compound sentences. And then I think maybe by the end, if I have time, and it's just like, as much as I like plan all these things, it just never works out that way. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to have them maybe write like a paragraph about what they've learned so far about the Southern Colonies, just to kind of give like some facts and examples. And so we'll kind of see how that goes. And they can use, I'll have them pull facts from all the cards afterwards, and then just kind of everything that we've talked about. So I think that's going to be my day. I'll check in with you guys a little bit later and see how my day is going. I hope you guys are having a really good day. I feel like I sound like I don't feel as bad as I've been, but I just sound weird. I don't know, maybe it's just in my brain. So yeah, I'll check in with you guys hopefully during our planning time. If I don't check in with you guys then, I will check in with you guys at lunch. So I hope you're having a fabulous day, and I'll see you in a little bit. All right, just checking in real quick. I'm about to head, ooh, look at my hair. I'm about to head over to my PLC. So I just wanted to show you really quickly what we were doing today. So we gave the students, so we were still talking about the history of the Southern Colonies. And so, oh, not this one, that was yesterday's, sorry. This one, here we go. So we looked at different life in the Southern Colonies. We talked about education, religion, plantation society, indentured servants, enslaved people, and Southern women. And so I hid these task cards around, or not hid, I keep saying that. I put these task cards around the room. So here's the plantation society. We have the indentured servants, and then on the door there, somewhere, keep going, right there. We have some, and then we have a couple more on that side. And so they just walked around the room, they answered the questions. And then at the end, we went over them together as a group, and we kind of highlighted and talked a little bit about where we found the answers. So if they didn't get a chance to do it, if they didn't understand it working with a partner, they were still able to kind of, at least we discussed it. And so even if they didn't fill out their sheet, which some of them unfortunately did not, because like I said, a lot of them just the language barrier and things like that. So we were still able to talk about it, and then we did discuss it afterwards. So I was able to kind of do a Q&A with them, and then just kind of ask them questions and explain even further. So I told them at the end, I just want to make sure that they retain the information and that they remember it. So that was what's most important. And then we ended up we're working on compound sentences, and so I kind of had them create in their group compound sentences. And then if we have time when we get back, I have a worksheet for them that they're going to cut and paste. And it's going to say compound sentence, not compound sentence. They're going to cut and paste it and then put them where they go. So that's the plan. And then we'll be at lunch. So sorry, out of breath, just took them to specials, busy day, but I'll check in with you guys in a little bit. Hey friends, we made it to lunchtime. Ugh, all these like things on my chair. Not working best. Salad, Johnny, maybe water, maybe not. Oops, I guess I thought I left my water container here. I was wrong, so I'm gonna have to fill up my coffee cup container. So yeah, so we ended up doing our compound sentences when we came back. They just did a compound sort. It was kind of like a way of kind of just seeing if they got it when they got back from their specials. And so this kid right here, for example, 3 of the 4 were correct. And then I pointed out to her like what was missing. And so on the board I had wrote what made a compound sentence. So it had to have 2 complete sentences, it had to have a conjunction, and it had to have a comma. So the way that help them was, so like for example, some of them said she wore a special, or she wrote a special note just for her dad. I know it's kind of backwards. And so some of them were getting confused and thinking it was a compound sentence because they had a 4. But when I told them, okay, well, where's the second sentence? What are they connecting? And then also like, okay, yeah, it has the conjunction word, but where's the comma? Where's the second sentence? So then I think that kind of gave them a visual as to like, oh yeah, okay, so it does have, or like there was another one in here where it says, here, let me flip it around for you. So like this one says, I have a pencil in my backpack and a notebook on my desk. So even though it has the word and, there's no comma, and there's no, like if I took off this whole entire sentence, like would a notebook on my desk stand alone? And so they're like, no, that's not a sentence. And I said, okay, well then that's not a compound sentence. Even though it has that word and, you gotta have those other components. And so I think that kind of helped some of them. So we're continuing to work on this skill tomorrow. So hopefully they will be able to kind of understand and identify those compound sentences and hopefully use them in the future in their writing. So, but overall, it's been a pretty decent day. So I will just do it all over again with my afternoon class. My lipstick's like running, as you can see. That's the only thing I hate about this lipstick. It just starts to blur and run. So yeah, so we'll just do this all over again with, gosh, I'm like totally taking this off in front of you guys, sorry. So we'll do this all again. Hopefully it works out pretty great. I think I probably might do a little bit differently with my afternoon group. Like I will probably read those index cards that I put around the room, and we'll kind of talk and discuss about them before I have them go out and then kind of do it again, just so that way they kind of have some idea of what they're looking for. So I think I'll do that before I send them off to read them on their own and find the answers. I think that would probably help a little bit. Plus, my group coming in kind of will struggle a little bit with that. And so I think that'll be a good idea to kind of adjust that. And then in the future, maybe I'll do that with my first class as well when we're doing those for these next lessons. So I'm going to eat my lunch and then I'll check in with you guys probably at the end of the day. So hopefully you're having a fabulous day. What up, party people? It is 4:18 and it is after school. I am out the door and I am headed towards home. I'm gonna pick up my daughter and then we are going to head out to dinner with my boyfriend and his family, and then should be a pretty interesting time. We're gonna be going to I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I'm gonna go to Red Robin because my son's school is having like a fundraiser, and so what they're doing is they are doing any 20% of the proceeds from food that they sell is going to go back into the like the school for the PTO. And so so it's a nice like way of kind of giving back to Georgie's school. So yeah, so I'm just gonna go ahead and do that. I'm gonna pick up my wonderful, beautiful little girl Lorelai, and then we are going to go and pick up Dada and Georgie, and we're gonna go have fun. So yeah, the rest of my day was pretty decent. You know, we did it all over again, so it did work really well with the having the discussion prior to. I think it really helped my second group. They actually were really into the discussion. They had a lot of questions when we talked about it, and then at some point, even some of them as they were going, we kind of just talked about, like I kind of showed them on the card like where the answers were. And again, it wasn't more so for them to like, you know, find the answers on their own. I mean, I know that that's a great skill to have, but I feel like right now I just want them to just have the knowledge and to just have like the information that they need, especially when they're going to create their PowerPoints or their Google Slides and presentations about that colony. And so I think that that's really what's important right now. And then eventually we'll get to that point where we're looking for strategies on how to find that information. So we'll get there. I know we will. And so, like, again, a lot of my kids, you know, a lot of the, I think going forward, probably next week, I'll probably start differentiating some of the articles a little bit, so that way some of the other kids can actually start finding that information instead of like just working together. But the nice thing about it is, like I said, the clever teacher, she's pretty good at getting group work together, which is good because I know that my kids really like the group work, and so I think that that benefits them a lot, working with their peers, because they're learning. And you know, the nice thing is that, yeah, I do see some of them like copying from others, but I do see them asking questions and discussing it. And so I think that that's really what's important to me, is that they're focused on what they're learning and they're discussing it, and it's not just a, hey, let me just get the answer so I can get the questions correct. It's more like the information and, you know, understanding, because I had some of them who will later on just like come up to me randomly and they'll ask me a question about something that we had discussed, and they'll be like, so I was just thinking if this and this and this, and I'm like, that's what I want to know. That's what I want to know, that you're still thinking about it, that you're still drawing, you know, questions, and you're trying to come up with solutions and just, you know, ways of thinking. And that's kind of what is important to me. So yeah, I think I will probably vlog maybe in the morning tomorrow, since it's Friday. Might as well just knock it out and then kind of just tell you a little bit about my day. Tomorrow we're doing buddies, so maybe that'll be something that I do vlog, because you know, that's our buddy week, and so we'll be doing another activity with second grade, so maybe I will vlog a little bit of that. But yeah, so if I don't see you guys today, maybe I will check in with you guys in the morning after I drop off my daughter. So you guys have a fabulous Thursday, and again, if I don't see you, I'll see you tomorrow. Good morning and happy Friday. Whew, I was gonna record, oh shoot, sorry about that. I was gonna record in the car, but I just got in. Late start this morning, not for school, I mean for me. And so, yeah, today is gonna be interesting. We have buddies today. We have just hopefully a really quick day. I'm just looking forward to the weekend like you wouldn't believe. I'm like so tired, so out of it. It's just not even funny. I know I couldn't wear my Friday earrings today because the piece in the back that connects broke off the earring, so I have to fix it. So I just went with the rainbows, you know, sunshines and rainbows. So yeah. All right, so I'm gonna get some things together because I only have about not even 10 minutes, and then I'll check in with you guys a little later. Okay, welcome to lunch. Yeah, so I didn't get a chance to record anything with buddies because it was during our plan time, which was interesting. I didn't know what time it was, so it was during our plan time, so I just dropped them off, and then we had our plan time. So excuse me. Yeah, so from what I gathered, it was probably great. So now I'm just on lunch. I'm eating some rice and beans that my mom got me, or she made me for lunch. So that's great. And all we did today was, so I ended because we're ending with the Southern Colonies. So I just had the kids write 3 things they learned, 2 things or 2 questions they had, and what was something that they wanted to know more about. Here, let me turn it around. I always feel bad giving you guys this view. Here we go, much better. So yeah, so 3 things that they learned, or 3 facts that they learned, 2 are questions that they have, but I did change that for some. I said, if you didn't have any questions, because you know, you always get those ones that are like, well, I don't have any questions, because they don't want to do this section. So I said, what are 2 questions you can include in like a test or a quiz? And so that was what they were supposed to do. And then, what is one thing you want to learn more about? And again, you get those people that are like, oh, I don't want to learn anything. Then I had them put, if they didn't want one thing they want to learn more about, like one thing that surprised them or shocked them. So that was pretty nice. And then we did, where's the other one? Sorry. So we also did this, which was like a simple or compound sentence. And so that's kind of what we've been working with. So I gave them a prompt on the board. It just says, you know, the first one was simple and the second one was compound. And so I hung, I don't know if you can see it next to it, right there, types of sentences. So I hung them all around the room. And there's one right there, one right there, one, I think there's one over here, one over here. So they're all around the room. And so what we did was I just had them walk around, and then they read the sentence, and then they said whether it was simple or complex, or simple or a compound sentence. I know some of my kids said that it was pretty easy task. And I kind of laughed because I was like, yeah, I get it. It was pretty easy, but it was just more of a review, wanting to see what they knew. And then I think on Monday, I'm going to give them like a little mini quiz on that and on the Southern Colonies. So I also gave them this brochure, which had information about the Native Americans, the famous people, the Southern Colonies, like where they were. They're supposed to make a key, but I didn't have them do that because we didn't really have much time today. And then the geography, the government, politics, and then religion. So they're keeping this so they can kind of study it. And then on Monday, I'm going to give them like maybe a 5 or 6 question quiz on the Southern Colonies to see if they retained anything before we move into the New England colonies. And that's pretty much our day. We're, like I said, we're going to do it all over again this afternoon. I did give them, once we did those things, I gave them free choice. And then that was about it. Oh, and then we did have library today, so they got to renew or check out books for the week. So that was pretty much my day. So I don't know, I'll check in with you guys at the end of the day to just kind of wrap things up. But again, if you haven't, please hit the subscribe button, like this video, and hopefully you are having a great Friday and you have some good plans for the weekend, or if you're just looking to relax like myself, you get to do that. But I'll check in with you guys at the end just to make sure.